What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out every US Navy SEAL team explained. This is by a channel called Grid88. I've not seen this channel before. I will leave a link down below to the original video. Please go over to the original video, give it some love, all that good stuff. Really important that you do that. But this is going to be super interesting. I consider the Navy SEALs to be the American equivalent to the Royal Marines Commandos. We do very similar jobs. I think that they are pretty similar to what we do, and we have a structure in our organization as well. We have the 3 Commando Brigade with 4-2 Commando, 40 Commando, and 4-5 Commando. We have FPGRM, although I think that's now called 4-3 Commando. And so there's different structures and the way it works and where different bases are, etc. And so I don't really know anything about the equivalent with the Navy SEALs. Obviously, I know about SEAL Team 1. Is it SEAL Team? No, SEAL Team 6. That's the big one, isn't it? See, I don't even know that. It's SEAL Team 6 that's the big one, right? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we're going to find out in this video right here, and I'm actually very excited about it. Before we get started, though, check out Chug, 10% off. Link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world. Trying to stack it. Go on, lad. No, it's not going to work. Is that going to stay? Go check them out. Sustainable materials, handmade here in the UK. Support a small business, and they ship to America. Free customization, free bag, 10% off. Also, check out Morale. I'm trying to get people outside. That's what we're trying to do with this drink. Yes, we want you to drink a healthy, energizing drink with caffeine and functional mushrooms and L-theanine and beta-glucans and all this really good healthy stuff with no crap in it, while also using it as a message to get people outside more because it's important for our mental health. Bring the camera back. That's what happens when you get all passionate and you start banging on the table, innit? Shit starts moving. All right, let's pull this up. Let's turn subbies on and let's look at the structure of the SEALs.
The only easy day was yesterday. That isn't just a tough-sounding quote. It's the motto of the United States Navy SEALs.
Is that the
Navy's
motto?
go-to special ops crew. These guys are...
The only easy day is yesterday? The only easy day was yesterday. That's the SEAL. Is that the SEAL team quote? I didn't know that.
Is the motto of the United States Navy
their motto?
SEALs. The Navy's go-to special ops crew. These guys are absolute beasts when it comes to small team missions, dropping into just about any kind of terrain you can imagine, from the ocean to the jungle, city streets, icy wastelands, high up mountains, and even the middle of the desert. Wherever the chaos is, they are built to handle it.
This is why I think that the Navy SEALs are the equivalent to the Royal Marines Commandos here in the UK. A lot of people will disagree because the Royal Marines here in the UK are not considered special forces. But I think if you're looking at that title, I think you're doing it wrong. If you consider like the mountain leaders in the Royal Marines Commandos, who I think are some of the best soldiers and are up there, if not better than some special forces, I think you would be missing the mark. The SEALs, in my opinion, have a really, really, really difficult training. The Royal Marines Commando training is 32 weeks of the hardest basic military training in the world. And so I think that they are very similar. And we do the same thing. That's why our motto is per mare per terrain, by sea and by land.
You probably heard Navy SEALs many times, but have you ever wondered what actually makes up a SEAL team? Stick around. We're breaking it all down in this episode.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
All right. To really get what SEAL teams are all about, we got to zoom out and start from the top.
Okay.
Navy SEALs fall under the Naval Special Warfare Command, or WARCOM. Under WARCOM, things break down into groups, which are split into SEAL teams, and then it gets more granular. Task units, platoons, and smaller squads doing the dirty work.
Yeah, that makes sense. We have our units. So for me, it was 4-5 Commando. Then we have our company, which you have Yankee, Zulu, Whiskey, and X-Ray. Then within them companies, you have your troop. And then within that troop, you have your 4-man fire team plus your boss. So it works in a very similar way to this, actually. It works in a very, very similar way.
There are around 3,000 active duty SEALs and about 200 in the reserves, spread out in various teams.
That's about the same as the Royal Marines as well.
These teams are posted up on both the west and east coasts. Then there's a Tier 1 group known as DevGru, formerly called SEAL Team 6. That's the one you've probably seen in movies or headlines.
Yeah.
On top of that, we've got 2 SEAL delivery
Dev Group grew. Naval Special Warfare Development Group. So that's SEAL Team 6. So they've kind of like, they were obviously part of these other SEAL teams on the left-hand side, but they've obviously branched off because they're now considered a much more specialized group. Also, look at this like Norse-inspired logo here. That is sick.
vehicle teams and 3 special boat teams backing them up. Now,
special boat
getting
teams,
into the SEALs isn't easy. BUDS, that's basic underwater demolition SEAL training, is absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
We're talking an insane 75 to 80% dropout rate. Most folks either tap out from the pressure, get hurt, or just can't hit the crazy high standards on any given day.
And rightly so. That's the way it should be. They did an advert for the Royal Marines back when I was young, and it would always end with Royal Marines 99.99% need not apply, because that's the legit number. If 100% of people who signed up, 99.99% of people who sign up fail and do not get a Green Beret. That is a insane statistic. Obviously, this is through training. That the 99.99% is people who just attempt to sign up, right? So obviously it's going to be a bigger number. But in training, like my troop, like you don't get many people that genuinely pass it. It starts with 60 and it ends with like 20. Like, no, not even that. For originals, it could be like 5 or 6.
These SEALs are deployed in over 30 countries across the globe. Their main bases are located in Coronado, California, Little Creek, Virginia, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. All right, now let's go over the details down how WARCOM is actually structured. The main groups are 1, 2, 4, 8, while 11 as reserve group. Each group has got its own area of focus and specialty. WARCOM also includes the Mission Support Center, Naval Special Warfare Center for training, and the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, DevGRU, alongside other logistics and intelligence units. Now let's take a closer look and run through each group one by one so you know who's handling what. Naval Special Warfare Group 1, based out of San Diego, California, is basically one of the 2 heavy hitters. It's in charge of SEAL Teams 1, 3, 5, and 7, plus it runs point on 2 overseas units.
Why is it 1, 3, 5, and 7? Why is it not like, okay, they've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, the other one's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Like, why is it like random numbers? Is this just the way it's evolved over time?
1 in Guam.
Then you can say the same about like the Royal Marines, how we've got 40, 4-2, and 4-5, and it's a lot of people would look at that and be like, that's random numbers, wouldn't they?
Unit 1, and another in Bahrain, Unit 3.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there to the military base in Bahrain. It's sick. They have, it's a massive base actually. God, do you know what's really annoying? I used to have a computer that I actually took when I did anti-piracy, that I bought some PC games in the shop in Bahrain, in the base. I bought The Witcher 2, I bought Armor 2, and I bought, what was the other one? I think it was like Crysis or something like that, Crysis 2 or something. And I would play them on this really good laptop that I had, and me and the other lads would play it. But what I'm trying to say is, on that laptop, I had all the pictures from when I was like out doing anti-piracy. And I had a picture of me stood outside the base where, if you've been to Bahrain, you've got that, like, you've got the entrance to the base, and then you've got the street next to it. There's like a long street full of shops. And there's like sunglasses shops and stuff like that. And there's a coffee shop. There's a little tea shop down there. And I would go in there and I'd get myself a cup of tea or a drink. And I'd go up to the second floor and I'd play on my PC, and just, that was my like relaxation when we were docked up in Bahrain. I loved that. I loved being there on that US base. It was sick.
These guys train hard to stay mission ready for pretty much anything, whether it's hunting down bad actors, hitting high value targets, or gathering intel in places most people wouldn't even think about going. They specialize in operating in tough spots like the ocean, the jungle, and tight urban zones.
Is that David Goggins? Was that David Goggins then on the left?
Operating in tough spots like the ocean.
That's David Goggins, right? With a beard? Is it? Who's going to carry the boats?
Jungle and tight urban zones. As far as their area of focus, they've got eyes on the Middle East, Korea, and the Western Pacific.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of ground and water to cover.
Especially over there in the Western Pacific.
We've got Naval Special Warfare Group 2, holding it down in Little Creek, Virginia. This crew runs SEAL Teams 2, 4, 8, and 10 and gets them locked in for missions all over the globe.
Okay.
We're talking direct action, counter-terror, and recon. Their focus, Europe, Africa, Arctics, Mediterranean, and South America.
Damn,
These
that's a
guys
big
operate in
area.
some seriously high-threat zones.
Yeah.
And they're trained up for everything from stealthy maritime ops to Arctic missions and fast-paced urban warfare. They've got units posted forward too, like Naval Special Warfare Unit 2 in Stuttgart, Germany, and Unit 10 over in Rota, Spain. Always in position and ready to jump into the mix.
Cool.
Sliding over to Naval Special Warfare Group 4, also based out of Little Creek, Virginia. This group runs the Navy's Special Boat Teams. These teams are primarily composed of Special Warfare Combatant Craft crewmen, the go-to pros when it comes to getting SEALs in and out of the action from sketchy areas.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Next up, we've got Naval Special Warfare Group 8, also based out of Little Creek, Virginia.
Damn, there's a lot of SEALs in Little Creek. Imagine going on a night out there.
They run SEAL Delivery Vehicle Teams 1 and 2, one out of Pearl Harbor, the other at Little Creek.
Okay.
These guys run mini-subs that quietly ferry SEALs in and out of enemy zones, all while staying deep and undetected.
So they're the Uber drivers of the SEALs, are they?
Then you've got these Special Reconnaissance Teams, SRT 1 and 2, who are all about collecting the intel before things go loud.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They use
So obviously they've got different departments for different things here. It's, you know, we do something very similar in the Royal Marines. We have the mountain leaders, which I would equate to being some of the best military men in the world, in my opinion. The mountain leaders. If you don't know much about them, my God, they are people that go under the radar. That's like the SEAL Team 6 of the Royal Marines, basically. Then you've got Recce Troop. But we also have other special, because we've got, I think there's a little bit more manpower in the Royal Marines. I think there's more like 4,000 or 5,000 lads in the Royal Marines. And so we're able to specialize a little bit more. We have like mortars. We do have drivers as well and stuff like that. But we do have mortars and we have snipes. And I'm sure the SEALs have them very specialized branches as well within their teams. But obviously, it's not going to get into it in this video.
Gen Tech, drones, cyber tools, all that spy game gear to keep eyes on targets and get the SEALs locked in with the intel they need. Last but definitely not least, we've got Naval Special Warfare Group 11, based out in San Diego, California. They handle the Navy SEALs Reserve, including SEAL Teams 17 and 18. This group's basically in charge of about 800 reservists. SEAL Team
Special Force Reserves? That's such an interesting concept, isn't it?
17 operates right out of Coronado, while Team 18 holds it down at Little Creek, Virginia. Then there's the Mission Support Center over at Warcom, based in San Diego. These guys are the brain behind the scenes. They're the ones making sure all the ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance stuff is ready to roll. From training and gear to global ops. Basically, if you need the battlefield prepped before boots hit the ground, these folks are already on it. Now let's focus back to SEAL teams discussed in Group 1 and 2. These SEAL teams are deployed as Naval Special Warfare Squadrons or Special Operations Task Forces anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Let's break down a typical SEAL team. It's task units, troops, and squads.
So we're getting into a bit more of the micromanagement of each team here, which I think is quite is the part that I'm actually more interested in, how they break up from the fire teams to in my opinion, from the fire teams to the troops to their company and then their unit, like we do in the Royal Marines.
Navy SEALs are often called team guys. Once you're in, you're rolling with a team for your whole career. They roll deep with SWCT guys, SDV operators, EOD techs, and crypto support teams. The size of a typical SEAL team consists of 2 to 4 task units and support staff.
Okay.
Altogether, a full SEAL team with all its platoons, task units, and support staff adds up to about 300 people.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. Obviously, this kind of equates to a company in the Royal Marines, which, if I can do the quick math, is probably around the same amount of people. Actually, you got 4 troops in a company, right? But then think about all the extras that are attached, right? All the officers, sergeant majors, all the people that work around that company as well. Maybe it's a bit less than that, maybe like 250, maybe. I might be wrong there, though.
Each task unit rolls with about 32 to 64 guys, plus a small HQ crew to keep everything squared away. Leading the charge is usually a lieutenant commander, backed up by a senior enlisted SEAL who's been around the block.
Yeah.
Then you've got a couple of key players handling ops and targeting, 1 officer and a chief petty officer. Now, that task unit doesn't just roll as one big squad. It's broken down even further into 2 to 4 SEAL platoons.
Yeah.
Each 16-man SEAL platoon isn't just one big pack rolling out together.
No.
They can split into 2 8-man squads or 4 4-man fire teams.
Yeah. So a platoon is kind of, well, no, because it's more than that. It's a bit more like a troop, isn't it? More than anything. But this is super interesting, and it does make you wonder, because at the end of the day, a lot of special forces from around the world, especially in America, obviously stems from the OG special forces, which were British special forces, and they stemmed from the commandos, right? The commandos went off and made the special forces, and then the special forces in the UK expanded, and other people picked up on that idea and used it around the world. And so you can see that there are, remnants of the original plan from the commandos, from what we did. Like, it makes complete sense. And so you can see the similarities there, can't you?
We'll go real surgical with 8 2-man sniper or recon teams.
There you go.
Usually, you've got a lieutenant running point as the officer in charge, with a seasoned platoon chief keeping things tight on the enlisted side. Each of the 2 main squads is led by a TJG and a squad leader. It's all about having the right mix of leadership and boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Ready to roll out and handle business.
Yeah, I mean, that's Bobby Basics. I think that most military units have that, to be honest with you.
A squad is the smallest, tightest unit in the SEAL lineup. Each squad is loaded with specialists and are configured depending on what kind of mission they're taking on. Here's a quick peek at who's who in a typical SEAL squad. Team leader. This is the shot caller. They handle mission planning, keep the squad locked in, and make the big decisions.
Yep.
Assaulters. These are your door kickers and close quarters ninjas. They're trained for breaching, room clearing, and direct action work. Sniper, sharpshooter. This guy's got the long gun. Provides
I just want to say there that sniper and sharpshooter are 2 different roles in the Royal Marines. And I actually think it probably is in the SEALs as well, because I was trained as a sharpshooter at 4-5 Commando, but I didn't do sniper training. And so I trained on a specialist sharpshooter rifle, but I didn't go and do the sniper's course. It was just a smaller course just to handle this new bit of kit that we had. And so I think you got to be careful putting sharpshooter and sniper in the same category there, because they're definitely not.
Overwatch, recon, and picks off targets from a distance. Breacher. The one with the boom, handles explosive entries and cracks open doors no one else can. Communicator, runs the radios and keeps everyone connected. Without them, it's chaos.
Yeah.
But that's just the core. Depending on the mission, squads can flex and swap in these specialists.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so here's where we were saying about more advanced stuff. For us, it's like mortars, etc., etc. And they've obviously, maritime engineer, corpsman, so combat medics, basically. We have the same thing. Navigators, drivers, heavy weapons, guns, exactly. So this is kind of very similar to, in that sense, where you would bring more individuals into your troop when it's required on a particular, mission or operation.
Now, aside from the regular SEAL teams, there's one unit that's in a league of its own. SEAL Team 6,
Yeah.
officially known as DevGru. short for Naval Special Warfare Development Group. These guys are under the operational command of JSOC. They handle clandestine ops that barely anyone hears about. Based on the East Coast, DevGru pulls its operators from the best of the best, guys who already crushed it in regular SEAL teams.
Yeah.
Honestly, DevGru deserves a whole separate video. If you want a deep dive into their teams, training, gear, and legendary ops, drop a comment or hit me up.
Hey, Grid 88, I'd actually really like to see that, mate. I'd really like to see that.
Let's shift gear and talk about SEAL delivery vehicle teams.
Yeah, that logo is the best one in my opinion. That's sick, that is.
Or SDV teams. The whole idea actually takes a page out of the playbook from Italian frogmen back in World War II. Those dudes pulled off wild missions, sneaking into harbors and wrecking enemy ships. Fast forward to now, and
I would actually say that it's got more inspiration from the Special Boat Service. If you don't know anything about the Cockleshell Heroes, I would do some research on that, which was kind of like the first water-based special forces that basically got these canoes that were like foldable and did this absolutely insane mission. They were actually Royal Marines Commandos as well, by the way. They did this insane mission, and then they became the SBS. It's obviously a bit more elaborate than that, but ultimately that's kind of the path that happened. And I would say yes, could be very much like the Italian Frogmen, but I would also like to say that the special forces for this boat, kind of like water-borne special forces, came from the Cockleshell Heroes from the SBS.
DV teams are rocking high-tech mini-subs that let them glide in stealth mode way behind enemy lines. SDVs are the go-to guys when the swim's too long or the gear's too heavy for SEALs. Most of the time they launch out of submarines, but they can also roll out from shore bases or surface ships if needed. They pull off sabotage missions. Think placing mines under enemy ships or locking down a harbor to stop traffic dead.
That's exactly what the Cockleshell Heroes were. I'm going to show you after this video.
They're also perfect for recon, sneaking in close, dropping off sensors, scoping things out, and then sending back intel.
That's exactly what it was.
Now let's zoom on the Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewmen, aka SWCC. These guys might not get as much hype as the SEALs, but make no mistake, they're absolute beasts when it comes to running high-speed, hard-hitting boats.
Yeah.
We're talking about 700 operators who specialize in hauling SEALs in and out of hot zones.
That's a lot of Uber drivers.
Special Warfare Boat Operator. They're behind the wheel of some of the Navy's fastest, most tricked-out boats, like the Combatant Craft Assault.
That's so cool.
Special Ops Craft Riverine. These guys undergo some serious training at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, pushing them to their limits.
That is really
We're talking
cool.
heavy-duty stuff, advanced navigation, weapon systems, and team tactics. You've got special boat teams 12, 20, and 22, spread across Coronado, Little Creek, and Stennis. And they're out there doing coastal and riverine ops in all kinds of sketchy waters. And there you have it, a
That's
full
really
run-through
cool.
of
What a
every
great
Naval
video.
SEAL unit under Warcom. So, if you had to pick, which team would you roll with? Let us know in the comments section below. And while you're at it, go ahead and like, share, and smash that subscribe button.
That was really, really good. I actually really liked that. Grid 88, what a fantastic video. I'm going to quickly, SBS Cockleshell Heroes. So I just want to kind of show you a little bit of what this is, because this is kind of like where the waterborne special forces kind of began, and it began with some Royal Marines who basically did this operation. I mean, it would take a whole video, but it's absolutely insane what they did. I wish there was. It shows you some of the boats here. The Royal Marines Boom Patrol Detachment was formed on 6th of July 1942 and based in Southsea Portsmouth. The RMBD BPD was under the command of Royal Marine Major Herbert Blondie Hassler. They made a movie about this, by the way. It's an old movie. And you should go and read about this. If you want to know like the history of special forces and all this other stuff, this is something that you would really, really enjoy reading, I think. I think it would be right up your alley if you want to know more about the deep history on how these special forces were kind of formed and the ideas behind it. And also the pioneers who originally kind of shaped this style of warfare, which is fascinating in my opinion. So go and check that out. Just type in SBS Cockleshell Heroes and it's spelled like this right there. There's the film, the Cockleshell Heroes it's called, but it's spelled like that, Cockleshell. Highly recommend it if you want to know a bit of history. But what an absolutely fantastic video by Grid88. I like to know how the operations work and how it's kind of molded into different sections. I find that type of stuff fascinating because it's the stuff that's not as exciting as what weapons they're using, what equipment they're using, but it's also integral. So if you speak to like if I went and spoke to a SEAL and he were like, oh, I was in SEAL Team 10, I have a bit of an understanding. It's like if I go to some sort of, SEAL or an American soldier and I was like, I was at 4-5 Commando and I was in Zulu Company for a little bit. I was in X-Ray Company for a little bit. And then I got attached to FPGRM when I went out and did anti-piracy. They have a better understanding about how things work. And I think that's really important. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Check out Chug, 10% off link down below, and go buy yourself some morale if you haven't already. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.